Here, a flamingo can turn a brutal salt lake into a living painting. A black rhino can transform silence into a charge of pure fury. A caracal can rise from the earth and make even the sky unsafe. A black-maned lion can wear power like a crown, while hyenas challenge that throne with numbers, endurance, and relentless will. This is not merely the story of animals. This is the story of instinct, conflict, endurance, and the savage balance that keeps the wild alive. LA Mingo, a pink ballet on waters that smell of salt and death. Across the shallow lakes of Africa, where the water seems to reflect nothing but beauty and stillness, there is a bird that turns the horizon itself into a pink dream. But behind that delicate appearance lies no gentle story. Because in nature, no color survives for long unless it is paid for with endurance, discipline, and ruthless survival instinct. This is the flamingo, a bird whose every step looks like a soft brushstroke on the water, yet whose entire life is a constant balancing act between elegance and destruction. As dawn touches the surface of the lake, thousands of pale pink bodies emerge like a living cloud descending onto the earth. Water glitters around their long, fragile legs. The calls of the flock blend into the morning wind, forming a sound that is both chaotic and rhythmic, as if the lake itself is waking in their voice. From a distance, flamingos seem like a miracle of grace. But look closer, and you will see an army of adaptation. The salty lakes, alkaline waters, and shallow marshes they choose are not easy places to live. The water can be so harsh that many other species stay away. Salt levels are high, the mud is soft, temperatures swing sharply, and food is tiny and difficult to extract. Yet it is precisely there that flamingos have found their advantage. Their uniquely curved beaks seem designed for one single purpose: to filter life from murky water. They lower their heads, stir the mud, and then draw from that mixture tiny organisms, algae, and mini crustaceans, bits of nourishment, too small for most creatures, yet enough to sustain an entire pink kingdom. The flamingo's color is not merely beauty. It is the trace of what they eat, the evidence of a very particular way of life. That pink is woven from carotenoid pigments found in algae and crustaceans. In other words, they wear the colors of their habitat on their own bodies. They do not simply stand within the landscape. They carry the landscape upon themselves. Among the dense gathering, pairs begin their familiar dance. Necks stretch upward, heads turn in unison, wings open slightly, and their synchronized steps resemble an ancient ritual carved deep into the blood of the species. This is not simply courtship, it is selection. Among thousands of individuals, every motion becomes a declaration of health, rhythm, and the ability to belong to the collective. But flamingos do not live on beauty or ritual alone. They breed in crowded colonies, where thousands of mud nests rise like little towers from the water's surface. Every egg, every chick is a gamble against burning heat, shifting water levels, and predators waiting for weakness. A chick hatches, covered in gray down, not yet bearing the legendary pink of adulthood. It must grow amid a vast crowd, learn to recognize its parents' calls, and stand firm on unfinished legs in a world that is never truly gentle. But the moment that makes flamingos truly extraordinary is not when they turn the lake into a pink painting. It is when danger arrives, and that beauty suddenly transforms into a collective machine of astonishing precision. A shadow passes overhead. It may be an eagle, a jackal moving along the shore, or only a slight disturbance noticed by thousands of eyes stretched tight with vigilance. Then the whole flock shudders, necks shoot upward, coals erupt in unison, What seems like chaos is in fact governed by the deep logic of the flock, spreading outward like a wave. Hundreds, then thousands of bodies pivot in the same direction. Wings flare open, flashing black and red beneath the sun. The lake explodes into water, wind, and pink bodies rising together. When flamingos take flight, it is not simply escape. It is the moment when a vast population reveals its true strength. On the ground, they may appear fragile, but in numbers, in synchronization, they become something far greater than any single bird. A predator may single out a chick or a weakened adult, but faced with an entire sea of pink wings lifting at once, it must retreat before the overwhelming force of number and rhythm. Flamingos are also a living pulse within lake ecosystems. They stir the mud, affect microbial communities, transport nutrients, and turn waters that seem empty into vibrant spaces of life. Where flamingos gather, nature does not merely become more beautiful, it becomes more active, more alive. The strange thing is that a bird so often associated with elegance survives under conditions that are anything but gentle. The sun can scorch the lake, salt can erode life, predators can appear at any moment, food can vanish with the season, yet the flamingos return. They build nests again, they raise their young again, they turn a harsh land into a stage of color and motion. As evening descends, the flock stands still in the red light of dusk, their reflections stretching across the water like brushstrokes dissolving into sunset. And we suddenly understand that beauty in nature has never been weakness. Sometimes, it is the highest form of adaptation. It is the way a species survives amid hardship, while still forcing the world to stop and watch. Caracal. The black-eared ghost in a world of impossible leaps. Not every African assassin comes wrapped in a giant body or a roar that shakes the night. There is a predator that moves so quietly it seems to leave no trace. Smaller than a lion, less famous than a cheetah, yet armed with a weapon so astonishing that even the sky itself can become its hunting ground. This is the caracal, the black-eared ghost of the grasslands and semi-deserts, a cat capable of turning a single leap off the ground into the moment death falls from above. Twilight spreads over the grassland in bronze light. Wind slips through low shrubs, carrying the scent of birds, rodents, and countless small creatures preparing for the rhythms of night. In that fading glow, a caracal glides from the grass. Its body is lean, taut, and reddish, brown, blending almost perfectly with dry earth and dusty thorn country. Above its upright ears, black tufts rise like the final strokes of ink, on a face far too still to ever be harmless. The caracal is not a large cat, but nature has never measured hunting efficiency by size alone. It hunts with silence, with the ability to close distance beyond expectation, and with hind legs coiled like loaded springs. Its world is not the long pursuit of open savanna, it is the world of timing. A single moment precise enough to turn life and death into a story contained within one leap. It stops. Its ears swivel. Its gaze remains low, but never distracted. In the grass ahead, a small rodent shifts. Farther away, a few birds have landed to feed on open ground. For the caracal, every tiny movement is opportunity. It does not waste energy. It waits. It reads the wind. It measures distance with its own body. This is one of Africa's most versatile hunters. A caracal can take hares, rodents, birds, reptiles, and even prey larger than one might expect when conditions are right. But the skill for which it is most renowned is its ability to launch vertically into the air and knock down birds in mid-flight. That feat is a combination of neural speed, explosive muscle, and a targeting instinct so sharp it feels almost unreal. The caracal's life is a different kind of solitude from that of the black rhino. It is not alone because it is a fortress, but because it is a dagger. It survives on the margins of bigger hunting territories, avoiding direct conflict with larger predators, slipping into the hours and spaces they leave unguarded. In Africa, survival does not belong only to the strongest. Sometimes it belongs to the one who knows how to become something. Others fail to notice until it is far too late. The moment that turns the caracal into legend among the smaller cats is not when it vanishes like a shadow, it is when it explodes off the ground, and in that instant, even the sky is no longer safe. A small flock of birds has landed on a patch of open ground beside low brush. They peck busily for food, shuffling forward in short steps, unaware that beneath the grass, a hunting machine has compressed every muscle to its limit. The caracal moves closer. Its body drops lower. Its tail is nearly motionless. Then, everything detonates. It launches upward. Not a graceful leap for display, but a violent burst of instinct refined to perfection. Its body arcs into the air in one powerful curve. A forepaw lashes out like a hooked blade. Black ear tufts slice through the evening light. In an instant, panicked wings beat wildly. One bird falls, and perhaps a second. That small patch of sky becomes, for a heartbeat, a place where the caracal writes its own law. That is what makes this cat so remarkable. Darkness wearing a crown across the savannah. When a black-maned male lion steps out from the golden grass at day's end, the sight evokes more than strength. It evokes something older and heavier, as though the sunset itself was gathered around his neck into a dark crown. But nature did not grant that crown for decoration. It is the product of age, hormones, survival, and the brutal cost of standing near the top without being thrown down. Evening light spills across savannah, setting fire to the deep mane of a male lion resting on a raised mound. On a raised mound. From there, he can watch much of his territory, the paths where antelope pass, the grassland where zebra often pause, and the dark edge of scrub where challenges may appear. A black-maned lion is not merely striking in appearance. In many populations, a darker mane often signals maturity, health, and authority earned through time. Below him, lionesses rest with their cubs. They are the true working heart of the pride, the hunters, the providers, the ones who sustain the social structure. Yet the presence of the black-maned male still carries enormous meaning. He is the gate of the territory, the shield against wandering male coalitions, the first face any intruder must confront if it intends to take everything. To reach that position, he has already passed through a harsh life. Once a young male forced to leave the pride of his birth, he would have wandered with brothers or allies, surviving on meager chances, avoiding stronger males, and growing season by season through hunger, scars, and endurance. No throne is ever reserved. Every form of male lion power must be seized. The dark mane does more than create majesty. It sends a message to both rivals and mates. It declares that this is a male who has survived many fights, absorbed enough sun, enough time, enough testosterone to wear the deep shade of rule. But because of that, he also becomes easier to target. Rivals know whom they must defeat. The savannah knows who currently holds power, and all the pressure of that position settles into every heavy step he takes. As dusk deepens, the black-maned male roars. That sound is not for herbivores alone. It marks the invisible border between what is still held and what is about to be stolen. On the savannah, power is never stable. Every night that passes without challenge is already a small victory. But the cruelest truth about a black-maned lion is that the darker the mane, the heavier the throne, and it may take only one failed battle for all that power to vanish before the next sunrise. From the edge of the territory, another roar answers. Not a random response, but a challenge. The black-maned male rises. His massive frame tightens beneath ridged muscle. Somewhere in the dark, cheetah scans the savannah. She is built for one purpose: acceleration. Every muscle refined for velocity, every tendon coiled like a spring. She does not dominate through strength. She dominates through time. Or, rather, the absence of it. In the distance, a herd of impalas grazes. The cheetah lowers her body. Silence wraps around her. She inches forward, each step calculated. She must get close, impossibly close. Because her gift comes at a price, she can outrun anything, but only for seconds. Suddenly she explodes. The planes detonate into motion. Dust erupts beneath her paws. Her spine flexes like a whip, propelling her forward at speeds no other land predator can match. The impalas scatter in panic, zigzagging wildly. This is not chaos. This is geometry. The cheetah anticipates angles, predicts hesitation, commits fully. Within moments, she reaches her target. A swipe, a stumble, impact. Silence returns as quickly as it vanished. She has won. But victory for a cheetah is fragile. Her chest heaves violently. Her body overheats. Her greatest weapon has drained her completely. She must recover. But recovery is a luxury she cannot afford. Because the plains are never empty. On the horizon, shapes materialize. Hyenas. They move with unsettling confidence. Not elegant, not fast, but relentless. Their jaws are among the most powerful in the animal kingdom. Bone crushers, theft specialists. The cheetah hears them before she sees them clearly. She knows what this means. She begins to eat immediately. There is no ceremony, no time for pride. She tears at the softest parts first. Liver, organs, the richest fuel. Every second matters. The hyenas approach closer. One is enough. She growls, a warning more symbolic than threatening. The hyena does not hesitate. It lunges forward, laughing in harsh, mocking bursts. The cheetah swipes, but she is exhausted, built for sprinting, not for war. The hyena clamps down on the carcass and pulls. A tug-of-war begins, brief, brutal, inevitable. The cheetah releases. She steps back, ribs rising sharply, eyes still fixed on what was hers moments ago. Hunger burns inside her, but instinct is stronger than pride. Live to hunt again. That is her only option. The hyena calls out, and soon more arrive. The plains reward teamwork. But the hierarchy of hunger does not end there. Farther away, lionesses rest in the shade. Unlike the cheetah, they are warriors. They do not chase with explosive speed. They endure. They coordinate. They overwhelm. As dusk falls, the lionesses rise. They move as one unit, silent, strategic. Their target, a young wildebeest separated from the herd, two flank. One pressures from behind, another waits ahead. This is not a chase. It is an ambush designed by experience. Within minutes, the wildebeest collapses beneath coordinated force. The lionesses feed. But even they cannot eat in peace. Hyenas gather again, this time in numbers. Dozens. The air fills with snarls and defiance. The lionesses hold their ground. Muscles tense. Tails whip in agitation. A single hyena cannot challenge the lions, but a clan can. The confrontation escalates. Lunges, fights, bone-jarring bites narrowly avoided. The hyenas press closer, testing resolve. Then a sound fractures the tension. A roar. Deep, thunderous, commanding. A sound fractures the tension. A roar. Deep, thunderous, commanding. A male lion emerges from tall grass, mane dark against the fading light. The hyenas pause. They understand power when they see it. The male does not charge immediately. He advances slowly, deliberately. Confidence radiates from him, like heat from the earth. Another roar. The hyenas retreat. Not in panic, but in calculation. This prize is no longer worth the cost. Silence returns to the plains. The lions feed under the rising moon. Tonight, strength has prevailed. But tomorrow, the cheetah will hunt again. The hyenas will gather again. The lions will defend again. Because on the African plains, survival is not about winning once. It is about enduring the endless cycle. Speed, strength, strategy, different weapons, same war. cakedom of the Scavengers. Extended, the Iberian sky is vast and mercilessly clear. From hundreds of meters above, movement on the ground is impossible to hide. The eyes of vultures are built for detection, scanning not for motion but for stillness. Stillness means opportunity. When one bird begins its descent, others notice. Vultures read each other as much as they read the land. A single spiral downward becomes a signal flare across the heavens. Within minutes, the sky fills with widening circles. On the rocky slope lies a fallen red deer. It may have succumbed to illness, injury, or the slow erosion of age. The cause no longer matters. In nature, death is not an end. It is redistribution. Griffon vultures land first. Pale-headed, broad-winged, cautious but impatient. They hop sideways, gauging distance from one another. Their long necks stretch forward, testing the air. But none begin, because authority has weight, and weight is arriving. The Eurasian black vultures descend like dark verdicts, larger, heavier. Their shadows stretch across the carcass and over the griffins themselves. No call is needed. The griffins step back. The black vulture grips the hide and pulls. The sound is thick and fibrous. Skin resists, then splits. Steam rises faintly in the cool air. That rupture is permission. The flock surges. What follows is not graceful. Wings slam against wings. Feathers fly loose. Beaks strike defensively as often as they feed. Talons scrape bone. Bodies show for position. Hunger is louder than fear. Each bird calculates constantly. How far can I push? Whom can I displace? Which opening offers the richest reward? The hungriest become the fiercest. A vulture spreads its wings wide to appear larger, shielding its portion. Another darts beneath that barrier to snatch a bite. Quick, efficient, relentless. The black vultures tear muscle from limb. Griffins plunge deep inside the cavity, emerging crimson-stained. Hierarchy shifts moment by moment, depending on strength and timing. And yet, this is order. Within an hour, the deer is reduced to architecture. Ribs gleam, tendons snap free, even the eyes vanish. Gradually, aggression fades. Crops swell visibly. Breathing slows. One by one, birds step back. Not from generosity, but from satiation. Full stomachs silence rivalry. The wind strengthens. Heavy wings beat downward, lifting bloated bodies into rising thermals. They climb slowly, laboriously, then effortlessly. Below remains only bone. Sterile, efficient. In this kingdom, there are no hunters, no mercy, no cruelty, only conversion, death into life, waste into survival. And somewhere beyond the horizon, another signal is already forming in the sky. The Tenerife giant lizard emerges. Its body is thick and muscular, its scales dark, absorbing warmth. It moves with deliberate authority across terrain that would shred softer creatures. Despite its ancient appearance, almost reptilian royalty, it is not a predator of flesh. It feeds on plants. But vegetation here is seasonal, fragile, and fiercely contested. Spring brings blossoms. Cactus fruits swell with moisture. Shrubs push green shoots through volcanic dust. For a brief moment, abundance softens competition. Then summer arrives. The sun hardens everything. Flowers wilt. Water vanishes. Leaves curl into brittle shapes. Leaves curl into brittle shapes. Now, each fruit becomes currency. A smaller lizard approaches a cactus bloom, biting tentatively into its pulp. Juice spills down its jaw, but the tremor in the rocks announces something larger. A dominant male. He advances slowly, but unmistakably. His body language is clear. This territory, this fruit, this moisture, mine. The smaller lizard hesitates, then bolts. The larger one lunges forward, jaws snapping at empty air. He claims the bloom and devours it with mechanical intensity. Strength decides. Across the lava plains, similar contests erupt. Pushes, tail lashes, short, explosive chases. Rarely fatal, always decisive. Because in this landscape, survival is not about killing rivals. It is about outlasting drought. The larger lizards roam wider distances, spreading seeds through their droppings. Inadvertently, they shape the future of the island. Competition fuels regeneration. Even here, among hardened stone and ancient fire, the rule remains unchanged. Food dictates power. Power dictates survival, and survival shapes the land itself. The eternal equation across continents, across climates, across species, the pattern never changes. From the mist-covered Danube to the burning African plains, from volcanic stone in the Atlantic to frozen Alaskan rivers, from Mediterranean woodlands to the breathing heart of the Amazon, one law governs all. Energy must move. If it stops, life stops. The jackal that lunged for a carcass did not act out of cruelty. The eagle that tore flesh from bone did not act out of malice. The cheetah that lost her kill did not lose because she was weak. The hyena that stole did not steal without purpose. Each was responding to the same pressure. Hunger. Hunger is older than teeth, older than wings, older than forests. It is the first force that shaped behavior. It determined speed in the cheetah's spine, strength in the lion's shoulders, patience in the jaguar's stalk, strategy in the vulture's descent, dominance in the bear's stance midstream. Even the lizard on volcanic rock carries it, moving across lava in search of moisture trapped in fruit. Food is not comfort, it is currency. It determines who breeds, who holds territory, who grows strong enough to defend, who fades quietly into the background of extinction. When salmon surge upstream, they do not simply feed bears, they feed forests. Nutrients from ocean flesh become soil through scat and decay. Trees absorb it. Insects multiply. Birds thrive. When vultures strip a carcass clean, they do not simply satisfy themselves, they prevent disease. They recycle death into possibility. When jaguars leave remnants, they create opportunity for dozens of species unseen. Every struggle transfers energy forward. Nothing is isolated. The fight for food is not a collection of random battles. It is a system, a vast, invisible network of exchangers. Take away one participant, and the balance shifts. Remove the scavengers, disease spreads. Remove the predators, prey overconsume. Remove the predators, greater vanish. The equation collapses, and yet, within this relentless system, there is something remarkable. Restraint. Most fights do not end in death. The bears bluff more than they maim. The lions roar more than they slaughter rivals. The eagles threaten more than they slaughter rivals. Because survival is not about destruction. It is about sustainability. Even aggression follows rules. Energy spent recklessly is energy lost forever. The wild is not chaos, it is negotiation. Constant, dynamic negotiation. Day turns to night somewhere on Earth, under moonlight. The predator stalks. Elsewhere, dawn ignites another hunt. There is no pause in the equation, only movement. The smallest insect participates. The largest carnivore participates. The silent trees participate. Everything eats. Everything it's eaten. Everything gives something else. And within this eternal cycle lies a profound truth. Life persists not because it is gentle, but because it is efficient. The struggle for food is not a flaw in nature. It is its engine. It drives adaptation. It sharpens senses. It builds cooperation. It defines hierarchy. It creates resilience. And as long as energy flows from one life to another, as long as rivers run and forests breathe, as long as prey move and predators follow, the story continues, not of violence, but of balance, because on this planet, to eat is to live, and to live is to participate in the oldest equation of all. The struggle never ends, but neither does life. A younger coalition is testing him. They do not need to attack immediately. They need only discover how strong he still is, how fast he still is, how much savagery he still possesses to keep his pride. When the confrontation comes, it is nothing like the romantic image humans prefer to attach to lions. It is rough, violent, full of dust, blood, and the crashing impact of huge bodies slamming together. Claws tear skin. Jaws climb onto neck and shoulder. Both sides understand the price. The loser does not merely suffer wounds. He may lose the territory, the pride, the right to pass on his genes, even his life, if he falls at the wrong moment. That is the tragedy, buried at the heart of lion power. The closer to the summit, the more relentless the pursuit. The stronger the ruler, the more often he must prove he is still strong. A black maned lion may inspire fear across the savannah, but he's never truly allowed rest in safety. Every roar is a declaration. Every scar is a receipt. Every quiet night is only a pause before another trial. Even so, his role in the pride cannot be dismissed. His presence defends the range, deters intruders, and contributes to the stability of the next generation of cubs. In the larger ecosystem, lions remain a force that shapes prey behavior and the competitive structure among predators. When darkness finally covers the land and his mane blends into the very shadow it resembles, we realize that some of nature's most powerful symbols are most compelling precisely because they are unstable. This lion is not captivating because he is invincible. He is captivating because even knowing the throne is temporary, he still rises, still roars into the dark, still stands ready to fight once more for what nature never promised would remain his forever. Black rhinox. A solitary mass of fury in Africa's thorn country. There are creatures that need no roar or lightning speed to make an entire landscape wary. It is enough for one of them to emerge from the thorn scrub, sunlight falling across skin thick as ancient stone, its horn pointed forward like a primitive spear, and the air itself seems to grow heavier. This is the black rhinoceros, a solitary beast that carries in every step the feeling of prehistory refusing to end. Morning in Africa's semi-arid lands arrives with the smell of hot dust and thorn bush. This is not the open savanna where zebra and antelope display their speed. The black rhino favors denser, rougher scrubland, where pathways are unclear and shadows weave through thorny branches. There, a rhino appears like a moving block of muscle. Its head stays low, and its pointed, prehensile upper lip pulls leaves from brush, stripping scarce greenery from the toughest shrubs. Unlike the white rhino, which grazes mainly on grass, the black rhino is a browser. Its hooked lip makes it look almost like a careful craftsman in a world of thorns. Branch by branch, shrub by shrub, it works with heavy patience. Yet this calm is only surface. Inside that massive body lives a nervous system stretched as taut as a drawn bow. The black rhino has poor eyesight, but in exchange, its ears and nose function as warning systems that almost never stop working. Its ears swivel independently, scanning every small sound. Its nose reads the air like an invisible report on every living thing around it. For the black rhino, the world appears not clearly in images, but in signals. A strange smell, a cracking branch, a shift in the wind. Any of these can become the spark that ignites its fierce defensive instinct. This is not an animal that seeks conflict for display, but it is one that is almost never willing to tolerate risk at close range. Its solitude means it lacks the herd advantage of elephants, the coordinated tactics of lions. Yet that same solitude forces it to become a fortress unto itself. One wrong decision, one delayed reaction, can cost a calf's life, inflict severe injury, or erase the right to continue existing in an environment that offers no forgiveness. Somewhere on its back, an oxpecker clings and pecks at parasites hidden among folds of thick skin. It is one of the strangest alliances nature has ever built. The bird gets food. The rhino gains another set of eyes and an extra alarm system. In a land where danger can emerge from any direction, no advantage is too small. But the moment that turns the black rhino into a true nightmare of Africa's thorn country is not when it quietly feeds on leaves. It is when the air changes by a single beat, and that whole block of muscle suddenly explodes into a storm of fury charging straight at danger. An unusual sound comes from the low scrub. It may be a wandering hyena. It may be a human too close. It may be only a strange scent, trapped too long in the wind. The black rhino stops. Its head lifts, ears rise. 1 second of silence stretches into suffocating tension. Then it charges. There are few sights in nature that generate such raw pressure as a black rhino coming at full force. It does not need to be a top predator, does not need to roar, does not need to display itself. Its mass alone, its short explosive speed, and the horn leading the charge are enough to turn that rush into a sentence. Dust erupts behind its feet. Thorn branches snap apart. Distance is consumed without negotiation. Adult lions rarely wish to test themselves against a healthy black rhino. Even apex predators understand that some targets offer too much risk for the reward. One well-placed thrust of that horn can rip into flesh and destroy the attacker's entire advantage. The black rhino is not a killer by profession, but when it fights as if nature allows only one side to remain standing. The black rhino also plays a quiet role in the ecosystem. By browsing leaves and breaking branches, it shapes the structure of scrub vegetation, opening gaps for young plants to grow and for other species to move through. Wherever it passes, the landscape changes slowly, but decisively. It does not rule by symbol like a lion. It alters the world by the sheer weight of its existence. Yet the black rhino's greatest tragedy does not lie in nature. In the wild, few animals dare challenge a healthy adult. But before humans, even all that strength is not enough. However many charges, however thick the skin, however many millions of years spent evolving into a living fortress, it can still fall to invisible greed aimed at its horn. That is the cruelest paradox of all. A species that can silence the thorn country with its fury remains fragile before the one predator that does not need to meet it face to face. As afternoon light stretches long through the thorn scrub, the rhino's shadow grows into a heavy shape across the ground. It walks alone, carrying unpredictability, carrying the history of a species that has survived through endless upheaval. And in that lonely stride, there is something that reminds us nature still preserves beings that do not need to be loved in order to be great. They need only endure long enough and hard enough to remind the world what primal fear truly feels like. Hyenas against lions. The never-ending war between two empires of the savannah. Across Across the African savanna, some hunts end in seconds. Some lives are decided in a single violent instant. But there is another war that stretches across years, across generations, a war that never truly closes, no matter how well each side knows the other. It is the conflict between hyenas and lions, two predator powers alike in hunger, yet utterly different in the way they enforce power. One is the symbol of the throne. The other is an army built on endurance, and between them, every carcass can become a battlefield. Night has only just fallen, and the smell of blood is already spreading over the grassland. A pride of lionesses has brought down a wildebeest after a sudden, explosive hunt. Cubs linger behind them. A male lion is nearby, not yet feeding, but his mere presence makes the atmosphere heavier. In the world of lions, prey is not only food, it is reward, fuel, and proof of power. But at the edge of the darkness, other eyes have already lit up. The hyenas are coming, not with haste, not loudly at first, but like a gray-brown tide thickening from the shadows beyond the grass. They smell blood from far away. They heard the struggle. They know that where there is a carcass, there is opportunity. And to a hyena, opportunity is not something to admire. It is something to test to the limit. Humans have long preferred a simple version of this story. Lions are kings, hyenas are dirty thieves. But nature has little interest in such easy summaries. The truth is far more complex. Hyenas do not merely steal, they are exceptional hunters. Lions do not merely rule. They also steal from hyenas when they can. Each side is rival, threat, and mirror to the other, reflecting a different form of power across the same land. A large hyena clan can overpower a few lionesses, especially when numbers are high, determination is fierce, and the carcass is valuable enough. They crush bone, tolerate pain well, move with relentless stamina, and coordinate efficiently. Lions, on the other hand, possess more devastating direct force, greater ability to kill quickly, and if a full-grown male is present, the balance can shift almost instantly. That is why every meeting between them at a carcass becomes a calculation of numbers, nerve, and timing. And the most terrifying moment in this conflict is not when one side roars or the other breaks into that eerie laughter. It is when both sides understand that tonight neither will retreat before blood meet. And status is settled by violence. The hyenas laugh first, sharp, clipped, like thorns thrown into the dark. The lions answer with a deep roar that can strike through the chest of every creature listening. Then the gap closes. The hyenas do not rush blindly. They circle, test responses, press on the nerves of their enemies with numbers. One edges left, two others probe from behind. They are searching for weakness, trying to force exhaustion, trying to break the line. The lionesses rise around the carcass, ears flattened, lips peeled back to reveal their teeth. They know this enemy is not like wildebeest or zebra. Hyenas do not frighten easily with a few warning displays. They will return, try again, remain as patient as hunger itself. A sudden lunge erupts. One hyena dodges in time. Another is clipped across the shoulder by claws. Roars, laughter, pain shrieks, and the smell of blood begin to fuse into one primitive storm. If no male lion is present, the battle can drag on, bitter and exhausting. Lionesses, though powerful, must also protect cubs, guard the kill, and weigh the cost of injury. The hyenas tighten pressure little by little through sheer numbers. They bite, withdraw, harass, and grind at resistance. But the moment a large male lion arrives, the equation can reverse. His size, power, and presence can turn an advancing force into one that suddenly yields ground. It is a dispute over who has the right to exist at the top of the food chain. Who eats first? Who waits? Who controls the fear of others? Yet the most fascinating truth is that neither side can erase the other. Lions cannot wipe hyenas from the savannah. Hyenas cannot permanently steal the lion's throne. Both are forced to coexist in a feud without end, each threatening the other while sharpening the other's edge. At the ecosystem level, both are essential. Lions regulate large herbivore populations and shape behavior across wide hunting grounds. Hyenas hunt, steal, scavenge, and consume almost every remaining scrap of a carcass. One is a blade, the other is a millstone. Together they keep the savanna functioning according to a logic that is brutal but effective. By the time the night deepens, the carcass will have been torn down. Whether it remains mostly with the lions, is partly stolen by the hyenas, or is divided by the physical limits of both sides. But by morning, the war is still not over. It will happen again at another riverbank, another kill, another dry season. Because on the African grasslands, power never belongs to a single roar or a single laugh. It belongs to whoever is still hungry enough, stubborn enough, and violent enough to return to the battlefield one more time. The flamingo endures where the world seems too harsh for grace. The black rhino walks like a remnant of prehistory, carrying both power and vulnerability in the same body. The caracal proves that precision can be deadlier than size. The black-maned lion reminds us that even kings must fight to remain kings.